This story is entitled A Confession, and it is written by fanfiction.net user Miss-Jericho. March 22nd, 2002. A new episode of WWE Superstars. Divas match. Beth Phoenix and Eve versus Tamina and Natalya. Beth Phoenix wasn't pleased as she saw the schedule for the current episode of Superstars. She never wanted to be in a match against her best friend Natalya, but that just happened. Sighing, the blonde walks back to the women's locker room. She starts to undress from her street clothes and picks out her wrestling gear. Sometimes Beth travels alone, and then she usually was the first diva at the arena. Also, that time, she was glad, because she wanted to get her wrestling gear on and then just walk around in the backstage area. She wanted to be by herself. It was bugging her maybe more than she would admit, but she didn't want to fight against Natalya. Grabbing her hoodie, she takes her title and then exits the locker room. Just about in time, because she saw Natalya and Tamina walking into the arena. Taking in a deep breath in, Beth pushes her blonde hair behind her ear and walks directly to a big backstage box. She jumps onto it and leans against the wall. From this point, she could see everyone who is walking by in the backstage area without getting seen by others. It got closer to the match. All divas were ready and standing behind the curtain to wait for their music to play. All divas, but not Beth. Eve was looking around nervously as she then lets out a sigh of relief when Beth was walking up to them. Not even looking at Natalya, as then the music started to play and the Hill Divas walked out and down the ramp into the ring. Beth was the one who started off against Natalya. She wasn't playing that she didn't want to fight against her best friend. That talk was real, even though the fans think that it was just part of the show. The diva matches never lasted long. They never had enough time to show off what they really can do. So the match was over rather quickly, with Beth and Eve called the winners. Walking back up the ramp and into the backstage area, Beth just escaped to the left and let Eve walk alone into the women's locker room. Somehow the blonde was hoping that if she would wait a bit, that all of the other divas who were a part of the show leave and go to their hotel. After 20 minutes, Beth thought everyone was gone, and she decided to walk back into the women's locker room to shower, get dressed, and then drive up to the hotel, spending another evening alone and by herself in the cold hotel room. Opening the door, Beth saw Natalya sitting on the bench and looking over at her. "Why are you still here?" Beth questioned when she walks into the locker room, closing the door behind her. Why are you hiding from me?" Natalya asks back as she got up and takes some steps towards Beth. "What is wrong with you, Beth? You are so different lately. Since you knew about that match, and today, you never even wrote me a message back." Natalya crosses her arms in front of her chest and looks at Beth, waiting for an answer. Beth takes a deep breath in. She walks past Natalya and grabs her bag, getting her stuff out of it that she needed for the shower. "I didn't want to fight against you. For you, it was that easily. But I couldn't. Okay. It is just a show, but still." Beth looks up and turns her head a bit to look at Natalya. "Oh, Beth! One day we had to fight against each other. Maybe for the title. The fans want to see that. That's the business. Don't be such a lame woman," Natalya laughs. "Lame woman? Are you kidding me?" Beth got into Natalya's face and pushes her against the door. She glares at her angrily, and Natalya swallows before she says, "Yes, lame woman. You? I don't know what is going on in your head lately, but you aren't fun anymore to be around." Natalya pushes Beth back and shakes her head, looking at her friend. "You have no idea, Nat. Really." Beth turns around and grabs her towel and the shampoo as she walks into the shower. "Then tell me, damn it. What is your problem? You ignore me, you walk away from me, you hide from me, and then you get so emotional in the match. And you just laughed about me when I told you these words." Beth whispers quietly. She removes her tiara and starts to untie her boots, sliding them off. "It is a show, Beth. You should know that. You were at the business for such a long time," Natalya says helplessly, shrugging her shoulders. Shaking her head, Natalya sighs. "You know what? If you want to be by yourself, then be it. I won't bug you anymore. I thought we were friends and that we could tell each other anything." Beth bites down onto her bottom lip. "Of course it is just a show, but I wasn't prepared for that. I never wanted to fight against you, even in a tag match. God, Natty, you're the only person I really care about of all the other girls." "What do you mean?" Natalya walks up to Beth. She looks into her eyes and tilts her head to the side slightly, waiting for Beth to answer. "Nothing. Forget it." Beth turns around. She wanted to undress herself so she could shower already. "No! Fuck you, Beth! Tell me now!" Natalya yells at her angrily and pushes her again. Beth nearly fell down. She struggles a bit and then turns around, pushing Natalya hard against the wall, placing both of her hands on the wall on each side of Natalya's face. Groaning from pain, Natalya opens her eyes and and wanted to say something. Breathing heavily, Beth looks at Natalya before she presses her lips onto hers, kissing her heartily while she presses her own body against Natalya's to keep her pinned against the wall. After some seconds of shock, Natalya starts to kiss Beth back, wrapping her arms around the glamazon's waist. She tilts her head to the side. Beth gently breaks the kiss. She looks down at just a smaller woman and takes a deep breath in. That's what I mean exactly. Natalya looks into Beth's eyes. She chews down onto the inside of her lip and then cups Beth's face in her hands, kissing her widely. The shower room was silent. They could only hear their own hard and heavy breath, and then Beth accidentally hits the button for the shower. Natalya lets out a short shriek as the cold water hits her and then starts laughing. I'm sorry, Beth replied with a smile. She also got wet and looks at Natalya. The blonde diva shakes her head and pulls down the zipper of Beth's skirt. She undresses the glamazon and kisses her again, massaging one of her breasts. That is an excuse for us to undress each other. Natalya laughs a bit. She tugs on Natalya's hair and pushes her against the wall again, directly under the stream of water. Beth removes the rest of her own ring gear and then helps Natalya out of her wet gear. Biting down onto her bottom lip, Beth watches the water pearls pour down onto Natalya's body, over her wonderful breast, her toned stomach, and her awesome curves. I fell in love with you some time ago. I was so scared to even confess that to myself. Beth closes the gap between them again and kisses her heartily and with passion. You are so beautiful. You could have told me. I have the same feelings. Natalya mumbles against Beth's lips. Her right hand travels down over Beth's side and then slides it between her legs, moaning into Beth's mouth as she felt the wetness. I want you so bad, Natty. You have no idea. Beth moans into Natalya's mouth. She bites into the blonde's bottom lip and then kisses down onto Natalya's body. Natalya leans against the wall. Her whole body was already shaking from the touch of Beth's lips on her skin. Oh, God! Beth! Beth grabs one of Natalya's legs and places it over her shoulder, once she was in front of Natalya and on her knees, kissing her pussy softly before Beth pushes her tongue deep inside of Natalya's wet, shaved pussy. Moaning out loudly, Natalya slides her hands into Beth's hair, tugging on her hair to pull Beth's tongue out of her pussy again. But Beth pushes her tongue deeper inside of Natalya. She pierces her with her tongue and moves that around inside of her. The blonde glamazon wraps her arms around Natalya's hips and pushes her down more into her face. Beth could tell that Natty was close as the wetness grew more, her breath got harder, and her moans louder. Natalya's body tenses up. She places her hands onto the wall next to her to brace herself. With a loud moan, Natalya's body starts shaking in pleasure as she comes right into Beth's mouth and onto her tongue. Beth licks her clean and then kisses up onto her stomach, between her breasts, her collarbone, and then finally her lips. Smiling softly, Beth cups Natalya's face in her hands and kisses her deeply and with love. Let's shower, and then go to the hotel? Natalya nods and pecks the lips of Beth back softly. As Beth releases her from the embrace to get to her shower, Natalya smacks Beth's butt and giggles. At the hotel it is my turn. Just saying, baby. The end.